What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's car is competition time. This is the FMW Panther MK2, what we are working on for the Red Dot Games Discord competition. You can see mine's a little bit different already. It's a little bit slammed, a little bit lowered. Nothing too much, maybe. There are a few little sneaky bits heading in later. I've got some additional bonus body parts that are definitely going on this one. It's going to look pretty awesome. Barely really touched the engine or suspension on this one. Kind of left it all pretty much as it was. Was too busy focusing trying to get this the right ride height and trying to get some bonus body parts on there that are going to look pretty awesome, I think. And also, one thing I have done is I have added an exhaust to this, which sadly isn't available in the game. I cannot buy it anywhere. So what I'm going to have to do a bit later on is I'm going to have to head over to the salon and buy this exact model with the exhaust in, brand new, rip the exhaust out, and then sell the remainder on. Because you can't repair exhaust, and if you can't buy them, that is literally the only way I have to get this exhaust. It is my own fault. I set up a terrible exhaust. We will talk more about that a little bit later on. But before we carry on, just want to say I have moved things around a little bit. I did get the quality of a life mod. The only things I have on are the paint shop, because I absolutely love painting in this game, making things look awesome, and the additional car parking. So we've got the lovely Bolt Cape over here, sitting here looking pretty. Absolutely awesome. We've got my dream Mustang looking awesome. We've got the RTR Electronic E Experimental Mustang looking great over here. And then we've got our wide body Atom with a sweet looking motor in there as well. Pretty cool added on. The truck, that'll be saved for the next car that I will be working on. We don't have it up there at the moment. We've got the matte finish of the Arizona Kid here in that rusted patina looking fantastic. And then we've got the shop van back out the front in its new livery, looking awesome. I love this layout. Absolutely fantastic. Excellent work. This is available from Nexus Mods. You can't get this on the Steam Workshop. I will not include a link to it, but it's easy to find. It is the QOL mod, or Quality of Life mod, and you can find it on Nexus Mods. There we go. Moving on. Back onto today's project. We need to get this one over to the car wash and get it cleaned up, because it is looking absolutely awful. So let's take it over to the car wash. Let's get this one cleaned up. Here we are then in the car wash. We can already see it's orange. There will be some orange aspects on this car, but it's definitely not staying with an orange body on there. It is in awful condition. Very, very bad. We didn't even go over the pricing, actually. I spent a lot on it. Let's see what it looks like from here. It's not going to be quite the same. It's going to be up a little bit. In fact, it hasn't actually changed at all. I bought the car for $31,301. And I'm losing out on 6,969. All of the 69s there, pretty good. Because I could only sell it at 28,332. And that is what it was at before. So that's a pretty bizarre on that one. It does have the supercharged engine in it. And we are definitely keeping that one as it is. 164,952 kilometers. And yeah, it is bad. Now we finally looked at that. It is awful. But let's get this interior done. And then we'll get it back on the lift. And rip that supercharged engine out of there. Ready to strip everything down. Car's up in the air. Time to check for that oil pan. It is there. Wonderful. Let's get you all drained out and ready to go. Over we go. That is very dirty. Quite a bit of it as well. More than I was expecting, but let's get on underneath. Now, this is the exhaust. You can see it looks wonderful. It is beautiful. We are missing the actual end pieces. There we go. They'd stick out, but we can't buy this anywhere. So if I just rip this one out of here and out of here. Nicely done. While we're up here, let's go. No starter. So I'm going to add that to my shopping list now, just so I don't forget that one. There we go. Did I say starter? I meant drive shaft. There's the starter. Let's get this gearbox out of here. What is going on? I've already had to go in the car editor and amend a few things today, so I'm a bit far behind, but we are rocking on. We are moving on. We got the front end of the suspension out of there. I think that's everything. Let's get this engine ripped on out and start stripping everything down. Can't figure out where I am. It's all going on today. Let's get the crane moved over. Over we go. And hopefully out you come. Nice and easy. That is what I like to see. Excellent work. Now we've got to clear this engine bay. Now there is quite a bit in here for this one, which I like. We've got a wishy-washy reservoir, power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir, battery with the ABS pump and module down here. The brake servo, the ECU, the fuse box off with your lid. There we go. All the fuses inside there, and this lovely air filter cover, plus a radiator. Anything missing? We got a shock missing over there. We'll come to that in a bit. Doesn't look like there's anything directly missing from the engine bay. Ideal. Let's jump down the back quickly. Grab that fuel pump out of there. Don't know why, but that's just a routine I've got in the habit of doing. It is what it is. let's move on. So we need to get liquids drained from the brake servo, from the power steering reservoir, the wishy-washy, and the coolant. So a right-click, additional tools, drain tools, click and hold on any lid, and I'll be back in just a couple of moments. That's all the liquids drained. Time to start stripping this all out. Out with the brake servo, out with the ECU. Let's grab that battery. Remember to throw that one on charge. ABS pump and a module, out you come. Just the one little rusty bolt on there. Not too bad at all. Out you go. Out with the coolant, the wishy-washer, and the power steering. Out with the fan housing kit, and then out with the radiator. Let's jump up here. Let's see if we got all of the clips, and then get this air filter out of here. We do have all the clips. That's always exciting. There we go. Let's just, too soon, and there we go. Let's just get you out, and you out. That is all the engine bay cleared apart from the fuse box, which I will come to in a minute. We'll leave that wheel on. We'll go to this one, and we'll see what we are missing. So we're missing the hubcap. We're missing a brake pad. We're missing the whole shock there. We do have the bearing, though, and we're missing the lower suspension arm. Both rubber bushings are in there, inner and outer tie rod, and we're also missing the sway bar end link as well. Not too bad. We just have to remember to get all of that. On this side, we've got the inner and outer tie rod. We've got the hubcap and bearing. We've got the lower arm. We've got the sway bar end link, and we've got the shock. So this side is all complete, looking lovely. I do like these wheels as well. We probably will be keeping these ones on today. Just a colour change, because they look pretty cool. So it won't be these ones, because you can't actually change the colour of these ones. It'll be the alternate versions. So what have we got under here then? We've got the drive axle. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 arms there. We're missing 2 rubber bushings right there. It's a good start. But we do have the shock set up, the spring setup, sorry, the shock, and the sway bar end link in there as well. That's looking mostly complete. Just the rubber bushings. Not too bad. What have we got on this side? One of the rubber bushings, but we've got the whole shock. We've got all of the arms. We've got the rubber bushing in the side and the sway bar end link. Not too bad at all, and not too bad. Let's jump up. I need to get this fuse box out. I need to get all this suspension stripped out, engine stripped down, and then we'll work on the, then we'll work on the lovely Panther's bodywork. Looking forward to that one. As I said, there's a few bonus parts. We will cover them in a minute before we head over to the paint shop. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on the beautiful Panther Mark II, except for those exhausts, because I can't go home. I need to go and buy the car yet. I haven't got around to that. I will do that later, but we need to sort this bodywork out. So let's start stripping the rest of this off. Don't even know what we got on here. Front fender, any of these pieces? No. Out with the windshield. No doors, no skirts, no rear fenders, no rear bumper. Out with the trunk there. Out with the rear window. No lights. No. That's it. No interior. Just double check what's going on with that interior. It is all missing. That's fine. I think that's everything. Let's just have a quick double check. 2%, so it's definitely not everything. Left a body, a window. Hey, let's go all the way around. I missed you. I don't know how, but there we go. That is now everything. Nothing on there, and then down to 1%. Fantastic. 3% on the frame today. What do we reckon? I did pay a lot for it. It was 30-something thousand. And I go 1,500. 1,300, not too far off. There's no point showing you the Panther body shop because we've already seen it before, but we will have a quick look. There is a normal body shop, can't even find it, with everything in it. And then there's also an alternative body shop for body tuning with a few different bumpers, a different hood, some different headlight and tail light options there. Pretty sweet. That's that all taken care of. We need to get ours all back together as it should be, so I'll crack on with that. I'll see you back here in a minute. We'll get it back together, then we'll head over to the paint shop. I'm looking forward to this one. I'll see you in a minute. Time to get this body all back together, looking beautiful. Let's just get started. In we jump. I've gone for hood B, looking awesome. You got that black raised piece up there, looking pretty sweet. Front bumper, I've gone for bumper B as well, just because it looks quite nice. And we've gone for the headlight C's on this one, with that little lip up the top there, looking pretty sweet. On with the fenders, they just are what they are, so they go in. Same with the windshield and the doors. On we go. Let's move on around. Oh. Helps if I actually click it. There we go. On with the mirror as well. Nearly missed you. In with the window. In with the trunk. And then that's the only part from the original car that we managed to save. Quite good there. Gone for bumper B as well, along with tail lights C as well to go with it. They're looking pretty smart. This is all going to look awesome when it comes together. On we go, on we go, in we go, on you go quickly, in you go. That's all of the bodywork on, apart from the bonus parts. Let's just get in and get the interior done very quickly. In we go. I've got the Panther bench seat because it is what it is, although these may be coming back out. I've got my Nismo seats in there. looking pretty sweet. And then the steering wheel 8, because it just fits it quite well. Although I say I might be taking these out, the new painting that we can do in the paint shop, these might come out and have a slight color change, maybe adding a little bit of a different color in there just to make it look awesome. But we'll come back to that a little bit later on. Let's get the additional body parts on, actually. I don't know why I came out of that one. So we've got quite a few. As you can see, there's 5 different little dots. So we're going to go for the front piece, and I've gone for the atom splitter stuff. It's part of the wide body kit, but without the wide body kit. So that front splitter on there fits quite nicely. Quite pleased with that. That will be getting a color change on to here. Now, the skirts I've done the wrong way around. Intentionally, I didn't do them by accident. I intentionally put the right side on the left because I wanted it to look a little different. See, that bit's ticking up there, looking pretty sweet, and it is reversed on the other side. We've come out of that mode. Let's go back in. For the rear part, I went for the atom diffuser. It looks pretty good on there, quite awesome. And let's just get that other side skirt on there as well. And then for the spoiler, I just went for spoiler 1. I think it looks pretty sweet on this build. Quite pleased with that. Looking awesome. Let's get some plates on. Now, I've gone for my VM plates, and these say, now excuse my Middle Germanic pronunciation, Draka. Don't know if that's quite correct, but it is a Middle Germanic for dragon, also derived from the Latin phrase of dragon, which is where initial D gets its naming from there. Looking pretty sweet. Quite pleased with that. And again, I do apologize for my pronunciation, and also, how am I giving lessons on language? I can barely even speak English most of the time. So there we go. That's looking pretty sweet. Some of these bits are going to have to be painted separately anyway, such as all of this trim that is going a different color. The spoiler's going to stay body colored, and some of this interior. So I need to get all this trim back off, get it into the paint shop, get my livery put on it, and then we'll check it out from there with everything painted, looking as it should be. Here it is then, and now the Drak decision. It makes sense for the license plates. We've got some beautiful dragons down the side there, looking absolutely fun. Wonderful with orange eyes as well, just to fit in. Not the best job on them, I will admit, but it looks pretty sweet. That was really hard to do, but there we go. Then we got all the trim around the outside in that beautiful orange as well, and then obviously this beautiful piece that runs up the back bumper there, looking awesome, up over to the top of the car with some very, very traditional style Chinese, Japanese dragon styles going up and down them, looking absolutely fantastic. Really is absolutely stunning. Very, very pleased with that. And then obviously we've got the orange detailing around the hood scoop part there, going up, down the back, all the way down, and then into the rear fender piece there. Looking amazing in a matte grey. I'm very, very, very pleased with this one. The seats, it turns out, they can be painted, but they don't actually show up as painted when you put them back in the car. Bit disappointed on that one, but it is what it is, and never mind. As for the engine, well, it's very grey in there, so I'm probably not going to use any grey at all on the engine. I'm going to stick with a black, orange, and maybe a little splash of white or something like that. Maybe a bit of off-white, not actual white, but a bit of off-white there. Looking pretty awesome. That's what we're going to go for. Hopefully it's going to look absolutely insane. Let me know what you think of this livery in the comments below. It did take me quite a while to get this one fully made up how I wanted, which is why I never ended up doing anything with the engine or suspension, just leaving them as they were. I did kind of want to make this one a 4-wheel drive, but it is what it is. Let's get this one back on the lift. I need to get everything, engine and suspension, painted to the best of the game's ability, plus the quality of life add-on mods ability, and then we'll start throwing that suspension and engine back together. Hopefully this one's going to look totally wild, totally bizarre, and I'm going to absolutely love it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Let's get some stuff painted. I'll meet you back on the lifter. There we go. About 2 hours later, I finally have everything painted and ready to go back in. I'll just show a few little bits that have changed. You can probably already see them. That steering wheel has now been changed to orange. That worked. And also the rear bench has got some orange details on it, and the back is a bit orange, but looking pretty sweet nonetheless. Sadly, I couldn't get the Nismo seats to work at all, so that's hopefully going to be coming soon. But let's get on and let's get everything back on this car ready to go. Let's just go to the springs. We've got black shocks, orange springs, and a black cap, because they can fully be painted now, although it was pretty black anyway. But there we go, looking awesome. Let's get underneath. I've got nothing on because lots can be painted. So let's just crack on. Steering rack, you are in black. Sway bar, you are also in black, and then the front suspension cross member is in orange. I didn't bother painting the bushings, although you can. I just thought they weren't really relevant, so let's just get them in. There we go. Then we've got the inner tie rod, orange. Then we've got the front steering knuckle also in the orange there, looking pretty cool. Separated by the outer tie rod in black. Absolutely awesome. We've already seen the shocks, so let's just get them on. Looking pretty sweet, quite pleased with them. And then the sway bar end link is in orange to separate them a little bit. Very metallic-y orange. Sadly, you don't get to pick the colours or the finish on some of these parts. They just are what they are. Lower suspension arm also in the black there to separate that up. Looking sweet. Very, very pleased with this one. Then we got the axle cover in black. We got the wheel hub in an orange. There we go. It is very chromy like the sway bar end link there. Didn't bother with the brakes because they just are there, and also the brake pads. Wheel hub bearing, I didn't paint that either, although it can be painted. And then the brake caliper, I just did it in a black. I really wanted it in orange, but it wouldn't go orange at all. And then the hubcap in the orange there. So you've got lots of black and lots of orange. I'm absolutely loving this mod with being able to paint everything. Let's jump down the back and see what we got going on down here. Rear suspension cross member in the black there. And then the sway bar in the orange. Let's carry on. Rubber bushing, in you go. Rubber bushing, in you go. Then we've got the rear axle knuckle housing. That is in a black there, looking pretty sweet. And, well, all of these arms are in orange because they separate the orange into the black, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So let's just get all of these in. In you go, in you go. And then, oh, got to get that little rubber bushing in down there, and then in you go. Sadly, my exhaust does clip through just a little bit, as you can see there, but it won't matter. We'll carry on. Black spring cap, orange springs, and then the actual shock absorber cap there, also in black because that can be painted now. Sway bar end link, it just went in the black. It could have gone in an orange, but you know, it is what it is. Then we got the shock absorber also in black to match the shocks at the front, and the last suspension arm in that orange there, looking pretty sweet. In you go, get you bolted on in. Let's get the rest of this. Wheel hub orange, slightly different from the front there, obviously slightly alternating colours. Then we've got the black hub, and then obviously the brake disc. Let's get you in. The bushing, bearing, I knew what I meant. Brake pads are not painted, and also I didn't paint the drive axle either, although I could have. I just decided not to. There we go, on with the brake caliper. That's that all looking pretty awesome as well. I am very, very, very pleased with this. I'm going to crack on. Fuel tank, in you go. Let's get you in, and fuel pump. I still haven't gone and got my exhaust. Well, bought the other car for it, but we can get the rest of this middle stuff in. I have blacked all of this out. Looking absolutely awesome. These are black as well, but we'll wait till the end to throw them in. And hopefully I'll be able to sort these in just a little while. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of this all finished. Then we'll move on to the beautiful engine bay before we go and build that engine. And it is looking spectacular. I'll see you in a bit. Just quickly before we move on to get the engine bay sorted, I have got the other BMW in the shop. I just bought it. I've taken the exhaust off already. As you can see, 99%. It cost me $179,540 to buy it. And just for taking the exhausts off has lost $40,509. This will be coming out of our final price, although we're not selling our Panther Mark II, so it doesn't matter too much, but still, ouch. Just for a couple of exhaust pieces, off you go. Let's get these exhaust pieces in. Oh, that's not the right mode. There we go. They have already been painted. They are ready to go in. They're just in that black there. Looking absolutely incredible. I kind of wanted them orange, but I'll show you in just a little minute what I was hoping for. As you can see, it's hard to see them because they do just poke out the back there, but I wanted the tips orange and everything else black. Sadly, we couldn't get that to happen, so we've just gone for black all over, just poking out the back. And you know what? I don't know how I feel about it. I said I didn't know how I felt about it. I'm not overly pleased. Like, you can barely even see them. They're just tucked in there, nice and black. I did want them orange. It's a shame we couldn't get them orange. It's still cool nonetheless. Shame about that. Maybe we'll go and change it all to chrome just to make it look a little bit better. In fact, I am going to go and do that. I'm going to change all of the exhaust underside to chrome, just so we get some chrome tips on there looking a little bit nicer. Let's crack on. Maybe I could do some orange tips if we chrome them all out. Let's just get that done. I'll be back in a second, and we'll see how that turns out. I don't know what's going on with the quality of life mod. It is weird. It's all over the shop. Yeah, we'll gloss over that for a minute. These are just standard mufflers and not painted in any way, shape or form. But for some reason, they're coming out with black bits on them. I've no idea why. I tried to change the ones that I painted, and that didn't work. That just ruined everything. So I just went and bought new ones. Thought that should sort it out. They should just go chrome, but they didn't. For some reason, these parts stayed black. I'm actually really happy with it because I'm keeping this exhaust section and part of the exhaust on the car black, so it actually works quite well. Then we've got the Chroma Rear End going all the way down and out the back, and if I just bring the car back down, you can see that we now have bronze or orange, metallic orange tips just sticking out of there, which looks a lot better, but my god, did that take some sorting out. Let's jump in and get this engine bay going. There is a lot painted in here. At least there should be. It might still be there. It might not. Let's find out. Let's jump in. We start with the radiator because this should be in a metallic orangey color. That's looking pretty sweet. Fan housing kit should be blacked out. I did want these fans orange, but that didn't work, so that didn't really take it on there. That's still looking pretty sweet. Power steering reservoir, wishy-washy reservoir, and the coolant reservoir not painted. I did remember to pick up my battery in Yugo. Then we've got the ABS pump in an orange. It's a very metallic-y sort of color, and the module also in that same sort of color there. Looking pretty cool. Quite pleased with that. Brake servo on Yugo. You are also in an orange because we can, but it is very copper or bronzy. ECU didn't show up. Bit of a shame, but never mind. Not worried about that. And then the fuse box in Yugo. We'll fill all of that in a minute. And then this one could be painted anyway. It did give me the option to paint the air filter, but I didn't want to do that. So there we go. Get you on in your lovely orange with some beautiful black clips going on there. There we go. I'll get all of the rest of this finished off now. I say all of the rest of this is literally go and build that engine now and finish off that fuse box. And we are ready to go. It is looking so cool. Let's crack on with this beautifully painted supercharged engine. Then the block and the oil pan are just in a black there. And if I just get rid of this second, I haven't painted any of the pistons or the caps underneath because they're not going to see them. Also, I haven't painted any of the clutch setup either, but a lot of everything else is painted. We'll start with the engine heads because this is my favorite feature. Performance parts, and they're orange all the way around the outside. I mean, they're very metallic and a bit bronzy, but still fits in with this build perfectly. Absolutely love that. Looking fantastic. And then the exhaust manifolds, these can go in black now, which I think really make this pop, which is why I did have all of the exhaust originally black, but I wanted them orange tips just to fit in, so we changed that a little bit. Looking fantastic. I'll crack on and finish all of that not coloured. Oh, we do have a coloured fuel filter. I've got that one in an orange there. Looking great. I'll match all of that up to that in a minute. We will come back to it. Oil filter in your orange, looking cool. Alternator in black. That might be a bit weird, but it will all make sense a little bit later on. Same with this power steering pump, also in black. That looks too dark right now, but it will change a bit later on. I'm going to crack on and get this engine head on and get all of these pieces in, and I'll see you back in just a little while. There we go, that's all taken care of. Let's crack on. On with the cam gears. I've painted these orange just for good measure. Just wanted to see how they came out, but they look all right. They're pretty bronzy. They're going to get covered anyway, but still. Had to test what was going on with it. Looking sweet. Let's get these timing belts on you go, and on you go there. Nicely done. And then a timing cover. Now, this is why it will all make sense, because this is in an orange. Pretty bright, pretty in your face. Loving that. Looking great. Then we got all of this stuff to go on. And I'll be honest, this is all painted black because I can. I'm not going to sit and make you watch me all put it on. I'm just going to put a selection of pieces on just so you can see them. Even this water pump pulley is also black there. Looking absolutely great. I'm going to finish off all these rollers, then we'll move on. Look at them all in black. Absolutely fantastic. None of that greyness on this engine at all today. Engine head covers on you go. They are in black. They're looking pretty good, and obviously we've got that orange and black. It's very orange and black in the suspension, very orange and black in the engine, and we also have a lot of orange and black with some grey on the body. But let's get these ignition coils in. In you go, and in you go. And then the coil cover also in that orange, looking pretty sweet. Very pleased with that. The intake manifold, on we go, in a black. Very, very good. Looking nice. And then the supercharger in an orange on the top, just because why not, in your face colour. And then the throttle does accept paint, just not brilliantly, but it didn't before, so this is an improvement, and it is very bronze, but I still liked it, so we've left that one there looking sweet. Fuel rails are both in the black there, looking cool. Then I'm going to get this side finished, and then we'll get this engine finished off. Just a few more bits left to go then. Let's get the belt on. It is painted black, just to make it a bit darker. You can't see the writing on it, just makes it a little bit different. There we go, and then on with the other one. And then we've got the belt tensioner also in black, and the final roller in black there. This engine is looking insane. black and orange. The only bits of non-color show up on the clutch setup, and that will all be hidden by the gearbox anyway. So look at that. I absolutely love this. I'm going to grab some pictures, and then we'll get it dropped into the FMW Panther MK2. Looking beautiful out there. That engine really does look beautiful. Very, very pleased with it. But let's get it dropped in to the Panther. Over we go. Let's get you in and get this crane put away. How is it going to look against the orange and grey of the engine bay there? Pretty sweet. Loving that. A lot of orange in there. Black to separate it up. And then you've got the grey of the engine bay. That is looking awesome. I'm pleased with all of these extra orange details. Just dotted around for good measure. But let's get underneath, get the gearbox and a drive shaft in. Oh, chrome tips there looking pretty sweet. And I've exited the game and come back in. And now these exhaust sections have gone back to how they should be. Weird. I have no idea what's going on there. But we'll roll with it. I mean, that's... yeah, okay. Let's move on. Gearbox, in you go in the black. Looking absolutely fantastic. Awesome. I'm going to have to grab another picture of that now, aren't I? Oh, it's just, I don't know. Front exhaust sections are in black. Yeah, on we go with that. Drive shaft, we'll come back to. The starter is in orange. I've had a very, very long day. This quality of life mod is all over the shop, but it is what it is. Black drive shaft, in you go. Glad you stayed black. The reason I came out of this was because this wasn't lined up for some reason. Something had changed and made it so it wasn't lined up anymore. So I had to go out, amend that, fix that. Come back in, and now the exhaust has fixed itself or broken itself. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there we go. All looking fantastic. Let's just go and see if those exhaust tips are still in orange. They are. That's okay. That's pretty awesome then. Still happy with that. Looking fantastic. Let's get it back on the ground. Whew. I'm going to get some wheels done, get the windows tinted, and we'll get this one outside in the sun. Looking awesome. See you in just a minute. Here we are then, all finished with my FMW Panther MK2 for the Red Dot Games Discord competition. What a beauty this is. I really love how this turns out. I think it looks absolutely incredible. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, this is something special, something else. That's why I went all to town on it, painting everything you can possibly imagine. I could have even painted these, but I thought there was no point, and I didn't even want to see how they came out. We did have a few issues with painting. Obviously, that exhaust has changed 4 or 5 times just in this video. I'm not sure how much, but yeah, there's a bit of an issue with it. Still some minor little bugs that need to be worked out with it. Obviously, we'll come with more people playing it and advising him of what the bugs may be, which I've been doing today. We have been talking a little bit on Discord about some of the different things, but I still think this has come out absolutely fantastic, regardless of the issues that are in the quality of life mod. I mean, the things that I want it for, the car parking, perfect, spot on, absolutely fantastic, loving that. And the painting needs a little bit of work, but it's on its way. It should be absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about these rims then, as they are bright and orange and in your face, most definitely. These are the rims 18. Did come with the 18A. I did say I was going to swap them out for something with a bit more colour on them. These are 19 inches at the front with a 215 width and a 25 profile on there. No ET, just coloured in that bright matte orange to match all of these underside pieces there. The rears are very similar. It's still a 19 inch, but they're 235 thick, so just a little bit wider with a 25 profile on there. Really is beautiful. I love this. I love the fact that you can, I mean, I've done a little bit of painting on the interior. You can see a little bit of orange on there and that bright orange steering wheel. Shame we couldn't get these seats to go, but it is what it is. It's still looking absolutely fantastic. Really do love this one. Let's jump in and see what it sounds like. Lovely interior, nothing clipping through by the looks of that. No, let's get us started. We all know the V8 supercharged engine sounds like this. Give it some gas just to show it off. Very meaty sounding engine. But let's get this one over to the dyno and see what power we've added today. Here we are then on the dyno with the FMW Panther MK2, the Virtual Mechanic Edition, and a supercharged V8 with all of the performance parts added to it, along with a load of colour as well. But how much power have we added today? Let's have a look. A gain of 520 horsepower, 89%. I wasn't quite expecting that high, so that is incredible. Bringing us up to 1,104 horsepower. That should be pretty good for the speed track. But let's check out the gearbox tuning setup. Here she is, a 4.2 ratio. That wasn't intended, just luck. There we go, 38 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to 416 kilometers an hour in ninth gear. Nice little curve out through the middle. I don't think we'll quite get up to this speed, but let's head over to the track and see what we will reach. Here we are then with the FMW Panther Mark II Virtual Mechanic Edition on the speed track. Looking absolutely glorious. I love how this car has turned out, but how fast can we get this one down the end of the runway? Let's jump in. Let's find out. Off we go. Pretty hard off the line there. Not too bad. It doesn't like first, second, or third gear. Into fourth now. We're all right. Not too bad. 200 kilometers an hour. Nice and easy. Where will we finish? It reckoned the 416. I reckon late 300s. Maybe early 400s if we can push it. Where will we finish? Already in 8th gear. Into 9th. We're only at 350. This is going to be a bit of a close one. 60, 70, 75, 78. 378 kilometers an hour from the FMW Panther Mark II. Quite impressed by that. 378 kilometers an hour from the FMW Panther Mark II. Absolutely incredible. Wasn't quite expecting that. Pits at 74th on the speederboard out of 149 cars. Very, very impressed with that. Couldn't quite believe it myself. And this one looks absolutely beautiful. We definitely won't be selling it, but we will be going into some facts and figures. We got a beautifully painted engine. The most paint I have ever applied to any vehicle. Maybe do a few more of these in the future, but we'll see how the little issues go with the quality of life mod first. But still really enjoyed painting everything today. Literally everything. You can see it all in there. So much has been painted. We did even paint the exhaust at one point, but we changed our mind because I wanted these tips here to be that beautiful orangey sort of chrome bronzy colour. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving it nonetheless. As I said, we definitely won't be selling this one. We're going to have to find a place for it to live. Swap it out with something that's already here. Don't know what, though. Not sure. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk some facts and figures. If you stuck around for long enough at the beginning of the episode, you would have saw that I paid $35,301 for this, losing out on $6,969 at the very beginning. And I did also have to go and buy a brand new one of these to steal the exhaust from. Pitting our total spend... $147,476. What we spent on parts, including buying the other car, which obviously then did sell off for the profit, was $112,175. That's actually quite a bit. Yeah. Will we make a profit? Doesn't matter because we're not selling it, but could we make a profit? Let's jump in. Let's have a look. All finished off, all back up to 100% with that beautiful livery on it. I absolutely love it. Now with 1,104 horsepower, a gain of 89%. Very impressed with that. Can we make a profit, though? We spent $147,476 in total. $157,484 is the sale price. That is cutting it fine, leaving us with a profit of 10,008 credits. Quickly close that screen before I accidentally sell it. This one has been an absolute beauty. I have spent pretty much the whole 2 weeks of the competition period making this one. I finally finished it just before I started recording today. I had to just do some fine-tuning adjustments just before today. And yeah, I have been working on this one quite a lot. I have had a few other projects and bits going on at the same time, but it has been enjoyable nonetheless. I have loved coming up with the design for this, painting everything, making it look absolutely fantastic, getting the config right. And yeah, very, very pleased with it. Very pleased with it indeed. It's been absolutely fantastic. We're not selling this one. What have we got up next? Well, now we've got the quality of life mod. We've managed to tow it in. There she is. This is, again, my own config. Slightly adjusted. Nothing overly special on this. And it does have a little bit of a body kit on it. Not that one. A different body kit. But it has got a little bit. Nothing overly fancy on this one. I wanted to keep it relatively simple because this is going to be for the 1 year anniversary. Happy birthday, the Virtual Mechanic channel. This is what we're going to do now. If you remember when the demo first came out, this was one of the only cars you could play around with. What a lot of fun it was. Now we've got our own version of it with some cool details in it. Lots of stuff changed. And we probably will go to town and paint it like that one for the 1 year anniversary, just because it's a bit special. And we got another cool livery to go with this one. French Toast has been working away in the background, making us a lovely new livery to go with this. So this is what we're going to be working on next time. We can see inside. Sadly, at the height it is, I can't lift up the hood. We'd have to move it inside, and I can't be bothered with that. But we can sit inside it. Or we could. There we go. We can jump up and sit inside it. And I believe this one's not in too bad condition. And we'll actually start. Yeah, it does. There's the base engine. We're not going to give too much away of that. It is just what it is on the engine. Let's go in. So it is the Virtual Mechanic Edition, 60,000 kilometers. We got it from the nice auction house. I swear to God, I tried ages to find one of these. Couldn't find one at all. But we got a good deal on it. I bought it for 43,114 and could sell it for 49,086, gaining us almost 6,000 before we've even started. It does have the i4 double overhead cam at 4x4 engine in it. We will be keeping that one in there because this is 4-wheel drive. And it's got a turbo. And I love the sound of a turbo. But this is for next time. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to join us on Discord or either vote for mine, enter your own. You still have a little bit of time. There's a few hours left by the end of today to get your upload in. Link in the description below. No link to this because I won't be putting this one on the Steam Workshop because you can't get these exhausts in-game. So we won't use that, but there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please consider subscribing. We are still trying to become a better, bigger, better channel and all of that stuff. So thank you very much. If you can subscribe, click that like button, and leave us a comment. Let know what you think of this beautiful build today. It's pretty fantastic. I've loved every minute of it. Thank you so much. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.